Hey there everyone, welcome to Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends number 11 if I'm not mistaken. I'm Spellruler. This is the first round action between WaningMoon and pewpewurface. This is Conquest everybody, so you have to win with all three of your classes if you want to move on towards the next round. WaningMoon playing Mage and pewpewurface playing with Hunter, and both of these players playing really fast in their back and forth actually. So let's take a quick look at how the board state is. Like, I hope y'all can see it there because OBS might have some issues here. But pewpewurface now with a Wolf Rider and a Haunted Creeper on the field. Eagle Horn Bow equipped in his hand as well. WaningMoon did play the Emperor Forest on earlier, so has a lot of reduced costs here. WaningMoon only with 11 hit points left though. Uses the Ice Block to make sure he will survive another fatal damage here. I'm not too sure how he's planning to win this one for now. Has double Mad Scientist out, so unless Pewpee has a way to kill off both of them, he's going to get a lot of secrets from that one. And can also play the Alexstrasza next turn to burn Pewpee down to 15 and then attack with his Mad Scientist, which is a possibility. He could be doing that, and then Pewpee has to find a way to get that Alexstrasza off the board.
I wonder.
So instead of the Alexstrasza, the Frostbolt is being used, and the Blizzard as well. Let's take a look at that second secret out. Ice Barrier coming out, so WaningMoon will survive for a pretty long time. The Blizzard to clear out the board as well, and suddenly Pewpee is left with absolutely nothing except Unleash the Hounds, a Kill Command, and Animal Companion, and Ironbeak Owl. The Ironbeak Owl might prove useful to at least silence that Mad Scientist to make sure that WaningMoon doesn't get any more secrets, but I don't think he has too many secrets left in his deck anymore. Didn't see the first part of the game, so excuse me for that. Leok and Unleash the Hounds coming out, so those Hounds getting a little bit of a buff, turning into 2/1 minions, and Pewpee is really hammering away on it, but refusing to hit WaningMoon, really, leaving him at that 8 health benchmark. Now WaningMoon with the Acolyte of Pain is probably looking to draw some more cards. Has to make his move pretty soon. Otherwise, Pewpee might just have the answer here, and Pewpee is probably going to keep on the offensive because, of course, Steady Shot is pretty good against Mage, as it does have that consistent way of doing damage without really needing any other cards. Now WaningMoon on the offensive here, using the Fireball to just clear out the board. Like, his goal is probably just to make Pewpee go minus, or like expend as much resources as possible. Kill Command coming out, launched straight at WaningMoon. Steady Shot as well, and really smart strategy from Pewpee, forcing Waning to 1 hit point so that he will have the least amount of hit points left. But WaningMoon's like, no, I'm just gonna burn myself back to 15 with that Alexstrasza, not using it on Pewpee, and now WaningMoon has pretty much achieved what he wanted to. Now Pewpee has gone like so deep in the minus, trying to take care of WaningMoon's spells and working around them, that WaningMoon is sitting on 5 cards, and Pewpee doesn't really have a way to get rid of that Alexstrasza straight up. So Pewpee is just going on the aggressive here with the Zoo version of his build, I'd assume. But here comes the secret, 8 armor being triggered. That will bump up WaningMoon to 21. The 5 damage will bump him back down to 16. And that Frost Nova pretty helpful as well to prevent them from attacking next turn. But WaningMoon still has that Fireball, so he can just use that Acolyte of Pain to get rid of the Abusive Sergeant. And now that WaningMoon has the definite advantage, he can just start hammering on Pewpee. Pewpee only with that shoulder decides to concede, and WaningMoon will win game 1 in this best of 5. So congrats to WaningMoon, winning game 1 of this best of 5 in Conquest mode in the round of 32. So we're going to set up game 2 for you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with some more Hearthstone action.
Gods versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, your soul shall be mine!
Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game 2 between WaningMoon and pewpewurface. WaningMoon being 1-0 up in this BO5 series. Winner of this one will be moving on towards the round of 16. Now, previous game has been pretty fast back and forth, so we're going to see how this is going to go. It seems like pewpew is playing Mech Shaman, if I'm not completely mistaken. So Cogmaster, 2 plus the attack once you have a mech. And actually quite an interesting card, the Fell Reaver. Really risky card for pewpew, but it seems like he might think it's worthwhile to play that one. Mech Warper is going to be dropped out, and that is going to give that Cogmaster 3-2, which will make it strong enough to take care of the Knife Juggler, but pewpew is wondering if he has another play to make. Goes for the Power Mace. Death Rattle, give a random friendly mech 2-2. So good play from pewpew. Wanted to go for the weapon first and play the mech on the next turn, which he takes a little bit of damage this way, but it ensures that he will have a mech with a buff next turn if he actually kills something off with the Power Mace. Now the Spider Tank looks to be dropped here, but I feel that the Mech Warper might be a little bit of a better choice here just for consistency issues, but it looks like pewpew is just going to go on the aggressive here, not giving that Imp Gang boss any respite. But now WaningMoon says, okay, I'm just going to blow it up. 4 imps from the implosion, so it has a whole field of imps to his disposal now, and no way for pewpew to take care of all of those.
Powering up.
So no other option for pewpew but to just try and attack through it. Does take a little bit of damage, but will give that buff over towards the Mech Warper, turning it into a 4-5. And if he gets that Stoneclaw Totem out of it, it will be even better. No, it doesn't get that one. But WaningMoon does have the power overwhelming to just sacrifice a kill off one of those Mech Warpers. Is probably going to buff up one of those imps with the Defender of Argus as well, to make sure that the Healing Totem will get destroyed, leaving pewpew with nothing. And that's pretty much how WaningMoon has been playing all of his games. Pretty card consistent wise, trying to out-resource his opponent with his cards. So pewpew, kind of at a last resort here, plays the Fell Reaver for 5 mana, and now every time WaningMoon plays a card, pewpew has to mill the top 3 cards, or discard the top 3 cards of their deck. I guess milling is technically a correct term. So Rockbiter weapon, Fire Elemental, and the Pilot Shredder all being destroyed here. And pewpew sitting only at 11 health at this point, gets a Fire Elemental in his hands. Earthshock might be useful to take down that Sylvanas Windrunner. And I feel like he has to use the Earthshock on Sylvanas Windrunner, or otherwise WaningMoon is just gonna run into it and take it for himself. Totemic Call gonna come out, gets the Stoneclaw Totem for his trouble though, so it's not too bad, but WaningMoon can now force pewpew to ditch even more cards in his deck. 6 cards in total, but does decide to go for the tap first. Nerubian Egg and Imp Gang Boss still enough to force the 6 cards away from pewpew's deck. Lofeb gone, Power Maze gone, another 3 cards gonna drop, another Fell Reaver gone, Doomhammer gone, and Whirling Zap-O-Matic gone. And now WaningMoon is saying, I want that. I want that Tinkertown Technician is gonna take it over with the Sylvanas Windrunner Death Rattle effect. And again, pewpew just kind of hard pressed for an advantage here. Gets the Annoyotron as a last ditch effort, but for 7 mana, is there anything else he can do? Crackle being used on the 4-4, but I don't think it really matters at this point still, because WaningMoon can probably just play the Mal'Ganis from his field a turn later, even if pewpew survives. Life Sap for the Big Game Hunter, not too useful as of now, but still WaningMoon just in the definite advantage here. Not too sure what pewpew can do at this point. Fire Elemental might get rid of one of the creatures, but WaningMoon is just going to keep hammering away. It's probably going to use either the Defender of Argus or the Imp Gang Boss to attack into the Annoyotron. Gets another Imp for his trouble, and Pew Pew now only sitting at a measly 6 hit points. Last card being drawn is the Mech Warper. Fire Elemental also being dropped. It is going to give another imp away to Waning Moon. Pew Pew surrenders, and Waning Moon now leading 2-0 in this best of 5.
Versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death!
Hey there everyone, welcome back to Game 3 between WaningMoon and pewpewurface. WaningMoon now being 2-0 ahead in this best of 3, or best of 5 series, excuse me. Only needs one more win. WaningMoon only having to win with Warrior. His last class, this is Conquest mode. Of course, Pew Pew has to win with pretty much all his classes at this point. Not too sure how this is going to turn out for both of these players, but let's see. WaningMoon sacrificing an early coin to get that weapon out. Destroying the little clockwork gnome there. Does give Pew Pew a finicky cloak field, but isn't going to be too helpful. But what is going to be helpful is that Annoyotron, if he does decide to play it this turn. As WaningMoon doesn't really have a straight up way to take care of it this turn, unless he actually uses the Battle Rage on it, but I don't think he's actually going to do that. So the Armor Smith coming out, that is going to give WaningMoon a little bit of extra way to generate armor. And I think that WaningMoon is just waiting until he can play that Death's Bite, so he can just hit that Spider Tank for 4 damage. And I guess that Pew Pew's goal is to just hit WaningMoon straight to the face, because he doesn't want to hit that Armor Smith because it gives a little bit of extra armor. The Acolyte of Pain now also not really being a target you really want to hit. And WaningMoon does get to generate a little bit extra armor and a card there by using that Battle Rage. So technically it did go 1 for 1, but now the Acolyte of Pain is being a more interesting target more and more. Spider Tank being taken out, not too sure, or excuse me, Armor Smith being taken out, not too sure if that was the wisest move, as WaningMoon is sitting on a 3 attack Acolyte of Pain. It has a Slam available for himself too, so he can use that one on the Snow Chugger. Snow Chugger might also be a prime target for WaningMoon, as he is playing Warrior, of course, and he does want to use those 2 weapons that are in his hand. So, sacrificing a little bit of health just to make sure you're not frozen. Whirlwind being the card drawn by the last Acolyte of Pain passive here is going to attack into the Spider Tank, so it does take a total of 1 extra damage, but still is not frozen. And again, WaningMoon just looking well in his card advantage here. Mirror Entity looking to be played there. Whenever your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it. And with 5 mana, the Warsong Commander is drawn, but honestly, I think that WaningMoon is just waiting for his Grim Patron to follow up on that one. So Whirlwind coming across, Death Bite being used with the Death Rattle effect to take care of everything on the field. Does give Pew Pew an extra secret in play though, but looks like he is only playing the Mirror's Entity in his deck, so no other secrets really. Now the Frothing Berserker, the card being pulled, and now he has a legitimate collar to play that one. Doesn't really care about the Grim Patron at this point, especially now that he has a second weapon as well. So it's gonna attack into that one. Frothing Berserker also more than happy to attack into Pew Pew. Now Pew Pew has to make a choice here. Has to use the Fireball to take care of one of the two. Snow Chugger now coming out. And Pew Pew actually using the Finicky Cloak Field to make sure it can't be targeted by Card's Effect. Not too sure why he did that. It's probably a reason why he wants to keep that Snow Chugger alive for that point. But WaningMoon now with the Unstable Ghoul can taunt it up as well. And one thing WaningMoon can actually do is slam his own Frothing Berserker, buff it up a little bit. Now Battle Rage to draw a lot of cards along with the Unstable Ghoul. So it gets to draw 3 cards from that one. Another Warsong Commander, another Unstable Ghoul, and another Battle Rage. Doesn't have the mana to do so though, so that Frothing Berserker now sitting at a 5-2, and Pew Pew has to do something here. I don't think he wants to use that Fireball on that Frothing Berserker just yet, as he probably wants to snipe it down with the Big Game Hunter, which it is in range to be killed at this point. So 1 damage landing on pretty much everything, and the 11-1 Frothing Berserker being sniped down by the Big Game Hunter, and Pew Pew just throwing out everything on the table here. Waning able to draw 2 cards here, but does draw into the Grim Patron. And does he have a way to trigger its Death Rattle? Or not its Death Rattle effect, but its passive effect? Yes, he does by Death's Bite. So he can actually attack into the Mech Warper, but it will kill off his Warsong Commander as well, which kind of defeats the purpose of the entire thing, but does decide to go for the straight up attack first. And Waning is kind of considering his options here. Everything's sitting at pretty much 1 hit point, and tries to get as much Grim Patrons out on the field as possible. So that's a 1 being landed on the field, and 1 damage landing pretty much everywhere on the field because of that Gwen. Still another 6 damage landing on Pew Pew. Pew Pew coming out with that Fireball. The Well Played comes out, decides to kill off himself. WaningMoon with a 3-0 sweep in this first round of the Southeast Asia Legends number 11. So congrats to WaningMoon with a 3-0 sweep in the Southeast Asia Legends.